Ready Check Radio.
Stand by as we get ready to serve up all your news this week in the world of gaming. Welcome to Gaming Gumbo. Hello, hello, hello. What's up, Internet? It's Thursday, 7 p.m. or Tuesday, 7 p.m. Eastern. That means here on Ready Check Radio, it's time for Gaming Gumbo, our Halloween episode. Yay! I have another show headed into Halloween, so forgive the no get up here. I'll see you in a couple of days for Halloween stuff. But welcome to the show, your weekly gaming wrap-up. I'm Mike Byrne, a.k.a. Magic Man, your host. This is episode 133. We've got chat hanging out with us live, twitch.tv/ReadyCheckRadio. And if you're watching on YouTube, listening on Audible, Spotify, any of the podcast platforms, thank you so much. While you're there, give it a like, a subscribe, all that stuff to feed the algorithm. But head on over to ReadyCheckRadio.com, and you'll find the backlog of all of our shows and our social media so that you can follow us everywhere. Joining me to go over all kinds of interesting game news, we've got the Terrifier himself, Mr. Dom Greco. What's up, sir? All right. Yeah. Halloween, your favorite time of year, right? Yeah. A lot going on. Yeah.
I just got back this weekend. It
spoke.
You're right. I just got back. I was in Florida. I went to Universal Studios for Halloween Horror Nights, and they had a whole Terrifier, walkthrough. They had Terrifier, Five Nights at Freddy's. They had some guy from WWF, WWE.
You look great.
It was a lot of fun.
You look great, man. You should have put the pink hat on top.
I know. I don't have the little black hat.
Oh.
It's coming tomorrow morning, so I'll have it. I just don't have it for tonight.
Very nice. Very nice. You're looking great. Happy Halloween. Also on the line here, resident artist of Ready Check Radio, the one who put Val in her Halloween get-up on our overlays there, Mr. Yod. What's up, Yod?
Messing around with my new toy.
Yeah, I see you got a new toy. We'll be talking about that a little bit as it interfaces
we'll get to that later.
Yeah, as it interfaces with another topic. We've got all kinds of news to talk about today, but
so much fun.
Yeah, it's going to be a good show. We might actually have to cut something. So I put something in the show much, much later I saw a BuzzFeed quiz, one of those Quizlet things, and it was like, hey, if you can recognize this game's screenshot, like take this quiz and we'll tell you if you're old or not. And I didn't need the quiz to tell me I'm old. But I scrolled through it and it was like 40 or 50 screenshot multiple choice things. So I just grabbed 10 and I was just like, yeah, let's buzz through these because I had a little bit of space in the show notes. Let's buzz through these. Ha ha ha, pun. And I'll show them to. I didn't provide the link to either of my hosts. It was just like I will show the pictures on stream and stream can kind of guess. We had some fun interacting with stream last week on our top 10 survival horror games thing. So, but I might actually have to cut that because today Amazon went ahead and added to our show.
Yeah.
By dicing 13,000 jobs in the games and leadership sector. I saw reports that the expected total layoffs from Amazon could be as high as like 30,000 when they are all said and done.
Wow.
And of course, they are talking about technology changing and AI, and we need to stay lean for this stuff. And
right.
I mean, we've talked ad nauseum about AI and its impact on entry-level positions, particularly in a lot of tech fields. So we're going to skip that part of the discussion just for today's show. You can go back and see where we've discussed that previously, and I'm sure we'll be discussing it again. I mean, when you think about it, I saw a stat, I think yesterday, Dom, where the games industry itself has been cut in half employee base-wise over the last 10 years. Like comparing 10 years ago to 2015 to now, it's been reduced by 50%, which is a staggering number. And that's really before AI starts getting its teeth on a lot of entry-level things, which creates downstream effects for those that aren't entry-level. Anyway, most of the Amazon layoffs today hit Amazon Games. According to reporting by Bloomberg, 14,000 corporate jobs, including significant role reductions, were made in the video game division. The company will reduce work on big budget titles, particularly massively multiplayer online games, MMOs, and is leaning into the things that Amazon does best, aka it's bullshit AI mobile stuff that, rakes in stupid amounts of money very quickly and then dies off very quickly. Amazon will continue to develop and release certain games, including March of Giants, a new Tomb Raider game, and casual and AI-focused games for its cloud gaming service, Luna, which we have seen substantial shifting and focusing on Amazon's part when it comes to Luna. Now, particularly impacted were their Irvine and San Diego studios, which are basically gone.
Right.
Gone.
Oh.
And we literally just talked 2 weeks ago about New World and its update.
Yeah, I was gonna say, didn't New World just update?
Yep, October 10th, literally 14 days or 18 days ago. And then how that was looking good for their numbers, and they made the Rise of the Angry Earth expansion free for all people that own the game, although the game itself was still $60. And that we thought those were good changes that, okay, let's see where things go. And the new content was being well received. And last week, Yad, I expressed Lord of the Rings as a potential product that I was cautiously optimistic of playing at some point. Yeah, they're gone. They're gone.
So, I know we said we're not really going to talk about AI, but I've got to wonder if they're going to try to push AI into development of some of these games here. That's why they cut the entire studio.
Well, no.
As opposed to,
I can answer unequivocally for you on some of these. New World has already released a statement saying that the New World Aeternum is no longer releasing content updates. Okay. Season 10 and the Nighthaven update that released October of this year were the final updates. Servers will remain active through 2026, and all existing content will continue to be playable, but there will be no further content updates released in the game. The Bloomberg article itself goes on to say more specifically, because they don't directly address the Lord of the Rings MMO that they've been working on. Amazon doesn't. But what they do say in the Bloomberg article is that the sorry, let me find it. Where was it? I wanted to make sure I get the quote right. I don't know. I'm not scrolling through this. Okay. Here it is. The company will reduce the amount of work it does on big budget titles, particularly surrounding massively multiplayer online games or MMOs, and that they'll be leaning into the things they do best. These games were halted. So they don't say cancel, and they don't tie the word halted to specific games, like saying the Lord of the Rings MMO. But I'm sorry, you don't halt an MMO's development. Like, you're either actively working on an MMO or you're not. It's not the type of thing that you set aside until funding becomes available later, Dom. That's just not the way that genre works.
Yeah. With AI, though, not to jump back into but like, every company out there is experimenting with AI on some level, whether it's taking meeting notes for, their weekly meetings, or they're actually testing software, but it still needs to be guided by a person. It's making people more efficient. I'm not saying that's a good thing, because it's also making people lazier. So there's a give and take, but I'd be very hard pressed to say that most companies out there in the gaming industry are not already using AI.
Oh, absolutely.
They're just not.
Yeah, and we've talked about polls from GDC and things like that, where companies are 50% of companies a year ago were already experimenting in this space. The knock-on effect that I talk about, and I've talked about this with other industry people, not video game people specifically, just software people that are in my particular field. There is that concern of, okay, fine. Theoretically, if you can get rid of a level of entry-level employment and replace it with AI, theoretically, you can certainly have some cost savings there. You still need your upper level to monitor the AI. Like I do a lot of SQL querying and generating complex queries with AI much faster than I could sit there and manually type it out myself. But I have to create the prompt that gets me the right outcome, and then I have to babysit that outcome to make sure that I prompted it correctly to get what I expect as the outcome. But what happens 5 years from now, 10 years from now, 20 years from now, when those people in my types of positions are retiring and moving on and now there is no entry level that was trained up under me to take my spot.
Yeah,
You get in this weird little dynamic with AI there.
Yeah, that is one of the main problems. And once again, like I said, we didn't want to get into this, but we're into it.
Yeah.
So,
and not to mention all the ethical complications, particularly when it comes to art and music and all that stuff.
I mean, I just went and saw The Wizard of Oz, right, at the Sphere in Vegas 2 weekends ago, and that was all done with AI. They put, what was it, $100 million into that project?
Interesting.
And it's made 200 million already in revenue. Like, so they've already surpassed what, it's crazy. And it was at a point where it's like, I can tell, I knew what parts were AI. I could read it and see. I was like, if I focus too much on this, I'm not going to enjoy it. But it was enjoyable. So it's like, I don't know. It's so hard. It's a weird, I don't know, whatever. Go ahead.
So like Mike, like you were saying, there has to be someone sitting there babysitting it. And as you stated, like 5, 10, 20 years from now, the people taking over these jobs don't understand how, like, for use, like say for coding, they don't understand how these codes work anymore. So they don't know what they're babysitting. Where with you, you know what you're looking for, you know how it's supposed to compile. It just saves you time of having to actually type the stuff out yourself.
Yeah, I mean, and literally, I ran one the other day where I was like, I got results that were 3 times what I expected. I looked at the query over again, and I said, wait a minute, I think one of your joins is incorrectly, and the AI is like, oh yeah, you're right. I'm sorry about that. Let me correct it. I mean, like, but if you don't know that that these aren't the results that I expected, and B, then to take that next step and be able to say, oh wait, I think one of these joins isn't quite right. Anyway, yeah. So, yep, when I wrote this code, only me and God knew. Now only God does, says Flynn in chat.
Yeah.
On the New World front,
same way with artwork.
On the New World front, you will still be able to play the game. It is just going into a maintenance mode now. They won't have more details than that until a few months from now. And they have promised in an FAQ that the team will provide a minimum of 6 months notice before making any changes that impact your ability to play New World. So if they can stay to that, right? A lot of times it might not be their decision. You should get a 6-month warning. The game is not actually being sunset now. It still will be bug maintained and repaired, but no new content. Here's the weird part. It's still fucking $60 on Steam and on consoles, and the in-game markets, the in-game currency, Marks of Fortune, you'll still be able to purchase and use that currency. So if that changes, they'll share an update there. Will you be able to purchase in-game currency? Yes, you can still purchase them. Yes, you can use them. Yes, you can still buy the game after October 28th, today. Will you still be able to use the PlayStation Plus stuff? Yes. Are additional fixes coming? Yes, just no new content. And if you want refunds on Marks of Fortune purchases, you're asked out. You're not getting those. And if you want a refund for the game, they're simply directing you to your platform of choice. So if you still qualify for a Steam refund, then presumably you could get it. But if you are outside of Steam's refund guidelines, Amazon's not doing anything here to help you out on that front. So, yeah, I mean, it made it a little over 4 years. It turned 4 back in September, Dom. And we've said from the start that, like, it didn't do anything necessarily super egregiously wrong, But we also knew from the start, after it hit like 900,000 people and we started being able to play it for extended periods of time, and then we saw the player drop off, that even though that it had decent numbers for a long time, comparatively speaking to other titles, we knew this was not what Amazon needed out of this title.
Yeah. It's just MMOs seem to be like the most difficult like genre to break into. Like every time one comes out, oh, this is the WoW killer. This is the WoW killer. New World was the WoW killer, and WoW's still chugging along. It seems like if you are not WoW, Final Fantasy, if you don't already have like that big IP, and even so, having a big IP isn't enough. Like Lord of the Rings is a great example, but like you just don't hit that success. MMOs are so incredibly difficult to do because they fall in this weird market of like where do you go free, where do you go pay, how do you get everything in the middle? And I guarantee you a lot of the people playing World of Warcraft are just because they were grandfathered in on the old system, and then everybody's like, oh, but my friends are playing, so they jump in on that and all that stuff. But if you were to release World of Warcraft right now, if it never existed, nobody's going to get on that model. It's so difficult to break into that genre.
Yeah, and Yad, when you look at it, it's 3.5 more years than Landmark. Yeah, somehow Rift lives on, says Shirak in chat. Yeah, I mean barely, but yeah, it's technically still there. I do think it's ironic that although they haven't announced officially that they are ceasing development on Lord of the Rings, their statements saying that they are halting their development for things like big AAA MMOs leads us to believe that at best the Lord of the Rings MMO is halted for now. In all likelihood, it is probably canceled. That means if that officially is the case, Yacht, at some point, this will be the second time Amazon Games has canceled a Lord of the Rings MMO.
Yes, it is. Yes, it is. And on the note of breaking into MMOs and stuff like that, the wife and I had this conversation on the way home earlier tonight. You're not gonna be the Warcraft killer. You're not gonna be the Final Fantasy 14 killer. The best you can hope to be when developing an MMO is that game that the people play in between expansions. And I think if you can manage that, you're doing pretty well for yourself as an MMO these days.
Yeah, and Mortam, first-time chatter, thank you so much. We're going to give you some disco lights behind me in the background for first-time chatter. Western MMOs are over. There's no LOTR MMO in Amazon. Yeah, Western MMOs are over. Yeah, so I always hate the like MMOs are dead or this type of thing. But if we take a look at what Mortam's saying specifically, and we kind of transpose that onto game development right now, I don't think they're necessarily all that wrong to say Western MMOs in the way we've always known them. Your tab targets, your Terras, your stuff like that. I don't think that's necessarily wrong to say. We're seeing more success out of games like, and who knows if this will be a long-running game or not, Fellowship, right? It's got its own kind of technical challenges being from a smaller team. But it's just an example of where we're seeing bits and pieces, Dom, of MMO content becoming its own game. Forget the open world. Forget all of this. You like dungeons? You like running dungeons in MMOs with your group of 3 or 4 people? Here's a game that's just running dungeons. We're seeing that type of multiplayer content pieced out into smaller experiences that don't need as much money to survive as long, and are easier for you to just jump in, play for a little while, and then go do something else for a little while, and then go run some dungeons for a while. Like, you don't have to worry about this huge overarching narrative and 3 expansion packs and a huge world. So I think there is some validity to what Mortam says when you word it that specific way, that Western MMOs, as we may have known them for the last 2 to 3 decades, maybe are kind of over. Terrifier just nods. Just
like I said, unless you're Warcraft or Final Fantasy 14, that's probably how it's going to be. Which there's no shame in that. There's no shame in that. I was playing with I checked out this one called Blue Protocol Star Resonance.
Oh, I'm sorry.
It's okay.
Now get the fuck out of here. You're out of your damn mind.
It's not terrible. It's not unplayable. But am I going to sit there and grind for hours on it like I did in Warcraft back in the day?
You know what's
or
funny is
I
that the
do it
original
Final
version of
Fantasy?
Blue Protocol did so poorly in Japan that it closed down before it had a global release. You are playing the like Bless Online version 3 of Blue Protocol by playing that game. I'm just
Like I
pointing
said,
it out.
I understand that. I understand it. And like I said, it's not. I'm not going to grind for hours on it. I'm going to sit around, dick around for a little bit, and when something else catches my eye, it goes into the back of the Steam library and never comes back out again.
Yeah. I mean,
there's not many franchises that I would even consider playing an MMO for right now. Like, I'm grandfathered into World of Warcraft. I'm there pretty much to the end. Whenever they decide to wrap that up, I'm not going anywhere. You know, like short of like them doing something absolutely awful, like they've kind of done in the past. But you know, they've made steps to improve. But you know, short of something like that again, I think like the only franchise that could possibly get me in the door to do an MMO would be Kingdom Hearts. That would be it.
And you're just looking at Final Fantasy with Disney characters.
Exactly, but I love Kingdom Hearts. I grew up with Kingdom Hearts. You know, it's whatever.
So if they made a Disney expansion pack crossover with Final Fantasy 14, you're there?
No, that's not the same thing. I want Kingdom Hearts gameplay in an MMO setting. I don't want Final Fantasy spells with my Mickey Mouse.
My wife and I are waiting for Where Winds Meet. Remind me, is that that like open world Wixia like action RPG thing? I seem to think that that's what it is, but remind me, Mortam, if that's the right one that I'm talking about. While we move on to the next bit of market fiasco over this week. By the way, our condolences and thoughts go out to all impacted by Amazon's layoffs. Big companies fucking suck, and I hope you land on your feet as soon as possible in a new job at a place that treats you better, regardless of what happens to the games and projects you were working on. Valve went ahead and blew up its own Counter-Strike skins market this past week by making what is arguably a small change, but it's a pretty big change when it comes to how things have been done. Now, if you don't play Counter-Strike, CS:GO 2, and I'm not a Counter-Strike 2 player, there's a bit of a market for skins, and you can buy and sell and trade and all that shit on Steam.
Just a wee bit.
Just a wee bit. There's also big third-party markets outside of Steam. Now, to keep this very simple, you used to be able to trade in a certain number of lower quality items that you may have gotten from loot boxes. And if you get, let's say, 10 of them, you could trade them in for a skin of one higher rarity, right? So if you think of it, I got 10 commons, let me trade them all in for an uncommon. I get 10 uncommons, let me trade them all in for one rare, etc., all the way up the chain. To give you an idea in just generic MMO terms. Except that top tier, that gold tier you couldn't trade into from red, which was the tier right below it. And now this is obviously a big market, one big enough that it had gambling sites and its own fiascos a number of years ago, if you guys remember that stuff, for all these skins. Well, Valve went ahead and made a change that says now you can trade up a certain number of these red quality skins into a gold one, particularly knives. That's usually the one you see a lot of on different websites being for sale for hundreds and thousands of dollars is different knife skins. Gloves, too. And so these gold ones that were worth, hundreds, sometimes into the thousands of dollars, overnight collapsed in price, many of them, while reds kind of had a nice bump because now reds could be bundled and traded into up into the gold tier. The estimates have this running from Forbes and Bloomberg and all kinds of different websites reporting on it. but the prices have lost about 70% of their value. And there was estimates showing that it was like almost a $2 billion hit to the market. Like that is just staggering to me. That is just staggering to me, Dom. I'm trying to find the exact numbers now that Bloomberg was giving. I think it was Bloomberg, but it was just disgusting. Are you a CS:GO skin investor?
I am not. I do like my skins in certain games. Like I did. Overwatch, the original Overwatch. Like I had every skin that was ever released before Overwatch 2 came out, and then when they started getting a little greedy on their pricing, I dipped out. But I didn't actually even pay a lot to get all the skins in Overwatch. I just played a lot, so it it's crazy when you hear how much money that they're making or losing off of skins with simple like choices and changes to the way things go. It's absolutely mind-blowing to me. And it's like, just make the prices reasonable, That's all I want.
Terrifier likes his skins, is what I'm understanding.
I do.
Yeah, it ends up being a little over $6 billion in estimated market value to a little less than $4 billion in estimated market value. And obviously that has a lot of people very upset. A lot of people are happy, right? Now you can maybe get that gold you've been looking for, or hopefully try to get that gold you're looking for. With all the reds you have there. So that's cool. Or maybe you want to sell your reds and they just kind of got a little more valuable. But if you have been sitting on very valuable gold skins as a potential investment, I don't know if this is the type of market you should ever really have invested in to begin with. It's like investing in TCGs, but yeah, a lot of them lost a ton of money. And the play here...
My magic pack is going to be worth something someday.
The play here, right, is to absorb as many of those people back into the Steam marketplace as they can, right? I mean, that's the main reason you do this, right, Dom? If you're Valve, is you want your cut of those transactions going back and forth that you're not getting a cut of when they happen on the third-party market. And so if you can create more reason to be using Steam's platform for these transactions, then Valve gets to make more money. And so they don't necessarily care what the market cap is because they're not involved in, that $1,000 transaction that happens outside of their place. So I could understand being a player and being pissed here, but I also look at it as like one of those things on this is why I don't invest. You view stuff like this as investments, particularly on the digital front.
Yeah, digital is always scary because goes into the movies. Like, do you own it? Do you not own it? Like we're getting into that territory with games now, and it's getting scary.
This is on top of a change they made just like a month and a half ago, right? Where in Counter-Strike 2, they introduced the whole terminal velocity system to kind of bypass loot box laws in various countries, Belgium, Netherlands, stuff like that have restricted or flat out banning practices for loot boxes, where they kind of let you see what's inside the box, and then you can buy it if you want. But if you don't, then you click next and you look at the next one and you click next. But you can only do that a very limited number of times, 3 or 4 times before you can't do it anymore. So you have it's essentially a loot box. It's just one it's just one that you can see and you don't know what the next thing generated is going to be, and you have to give up the first one to see it. And then even if you do like it, you still have to yeah, it's still a loot box, but somehow it bypasses some laws.
It's got options. You get your options.
it's a loot box that shows you and says, hey, if you don't like this, we can randomly generate another one. And if you don't like that, we'll randomly generate another one. And we'll do that 4 times before you don't get to see anything anymore. But hey, at least you didn't spend any money.
You could do it all again tomorrow.
Yeah, we'll see you tomorrow.
Loot boxes were always something that rubbed me the wrong way because it's like I grew up trading cards.
Yeah.
So trading cards are essentially loot boxes, right?
Yep.
But the big difference is digitally, you can manipulate those in any way, shape, or form to create or whatever rarities you want.
You mean like the
You can do
developer
that.
can?
Correct.
Okay.
You can do that on the trading card side as well by printing less or whatever. But you can actually fudge numbers on the digital side of it to make sure somebody doesn't get something. Like probably not used very practically, but it's possible. Like they can do it.
Yeah.
So it's like
absolutely.
Right.
on one
What's
hand,
the
it's like
physical?
I grew up with trading cards, so I'm like I'm okay with the system. But then knowing that they can do this, it's just that's the part that's rubbed me the wrong way.
Yeah, once the physical items are out there, that's it. You can't.
Yeah.
There's no modifying them at that point.
Yeah.
Because you get a certain number per case. I mean, future cases, sure, you can modify it from there. But yeah, with digital stuff, you can modify it on the fly. Like, oh
Yes.
shoot, this is happening too often. Let's quickly modify that so that not as many people have it out there.
Yep.
So,
Yeah. Also, just messy. Now, the next one isn't messy per se,
Yeah.
but it is a continuation of something we've been talking about for the last 2 shows prior to this. And Yod kind of joined this group this week by
A little bit.
by purchasing his Rogue handheld
Yes.
gaming PC.
Yes. So we have the original Rogue Ally. I picked it up
Ooh.
at Sam's Club. It was the display model. So they don't have this model anymore out there.
Yeah.
They're apparently replacing it.
And when you reached out earlier this week, I was like, hey, unless, I can't recommend the Steam Deck all that much anymore. I love mine. I still use mine. It's tremendous. But there's better tech options. The Steam Deck is
Right.
whatever X years old now at this point, and
Right.
there were just better options now. But we've also seen that with the Rogue Ally X for teaming up with Xbox, and we talked about on last week's
Right.
show how the next console experience from Xbox is slated to be curated and premium, and its pricing. Well, we have a little more information on that one. As far as their strategy going forward. CEO Phil Spencer has been teasing for years, according to Windows Central, what the next gen will look like for Xbox, as people wondered exactly how this strategy might pan out. And last week he said that, hey, people should look to what the Xbox Ally does for an idea of where Xbox is headed. And now we have details, according to Windows Central, that the next Xbox console will indeed just flat out run Windows. It'll be a PC with a TV optimized console style experience put on the top of it. Okay.
So, all right. So there are some issues here. All right. Playing with this thing for the past couple days, there are some issues if you're not running Armory Crate, which is the Asus, on-screen controller optimized software that comes with it, which is what I'm assuming the Xbox software will be like. Unfortunately, with the Xbox software, you can be running Xbox only. So if you want to play with your Steam games or whatever, you're going to have to go back out to Windows. With Armory Crate, you can pick which service you want, which is a bonus. And is the only way to actually use it with the controller only.
Yeah, so you can kind of think of where Xbox is headed here as SteamOS in big picture mode, Dom. Like that's essentially what you're kind of getting here. This full screen experience that's basically a PC running on Windows in big picture mode, kind of optimized for console with an Xbox, layer over the top of it. And and they are intending to get into handhelds and stuff like that too. They've already said that through their partnership with AMD. But this does kind of mean, okay, well, what are you going to do with Game Pass and PC Game Pass? Because what's the point of PC Game Pass if your next console, in air quotes, is essentially a Windows PC that just has this overlay? Like, what the hell is the point of the PC Game Pass? And you can kind of already see that in PC Game Pass being hidden on the Game Pass website. It's a little challenging to find that option anymore. And so right now, Windows Central reporting that the current plan is for the next Xbox specifically to have no paywall for multiplayer, because it kind of doesn't make sense, right, for a PC to have paid multiplayer. Feels like a traditional console. Natively runs games available on Xbox Series X and S and backwards compatible, so original Xbox and Xbox 360. And the next Xbox will be run full bore Windows with a TV optimized console style experience layered on top. We don't have any price points, but expect changes in Game Pass too, because one of the things that Xbox does have going for it right now is the whole Xbox Anywhere. Right? That is, despite some tech challenges with it on the Ally X right now, which hopefully will be worked out relatively soon, having access to that size of a library is tremendous as far as a selling point. Now, this did unfortunately lead to some really stupid fucking headlines all week. Dom, did you know that World of Warcraft is being ported to consoles?
No.
Because it's not. Because it's not.
So,
because it's not.
See, therein lies one of the problems with having the ability to access Windows from a gaming console. Because you can play, you can't play World of Warcraft with a controller.
Well, you can.
You can, but
so I should put a qualifier on World of Warcraft when it comes to a console port. By the way, it may end up getting a console port. I could see a world where, because they added the in-game or the in-game controller support, native controller support. There's going to be a lot of ability pruning going into the next expansion. Add-ons are being almost entirely removed from the equation unless they are just mildly cosmetic in the Midnight expansion. So they could be certainly prepping for an official console port.
They also have the one-button assist feature.
The one-button assist feature, yeah. But the headlines you've seen this week, and Wowhead, you're just as guilty, by the way. I mean, Wowheads wasn't like super egregious. But their headline was World of Warcraft and all PC games coming to next-gen Xbox console per Windows Central. So it wasn't like superly egregious, but a lot of people skipped over the words all PC games in that headline and just saw World of Warcraft coming to next-gen Xbox's next-gen console.
Right.
This isn't a console port of World of Warcraft. This is what was your console is now essentially a Windows PC, and go ahead, go to battle.net, put on World of Warcraft, go to Steam, go to Epic Games, and get the things. You know, I can play Final Fantasy 14 and World of Warcraft on my Steam Deck already. That's what we're talking about here, and the headlines were a bit misleading this week. There is no official console port coming, at least not yet, but Xbox's next system is definitely going to be on the PC side of things with just a console layer over the top of it, Yad.
Now, but now without a keyboard or a touch screen, as you may have noticed as I flail my arms around, I have this thing.
Yeah, you have your stylus thing.
Right. So, like, half the things I do on this little Asus, I have to use this thing, because the controllers just aren't intuitive to a PC. So unless Microsoft is going to make Windows more console with controller intuitive,
I don't think they have any plan for that. Because because you have to leave everything that they've layered over the top of Windows for this console experience. You have to leave that to even get to Windows. And so you were kind of saying, I want out. I want out of this.
Right, which then you need a keyboard and mouse or a touch screen for it to function properly. Because you're in Windows again, unless they're planning for Windows 12 or 13 to be a hybrid system, and we all know how that went with Windows 8. not well.
I actually wouldn't be surprised to hear that their next console comes bundled with a mouse and keyboard.
I'm I can see where you're going with that, Dom. Unfortunately, with the way things are getting more miserly, I mean, phones don't even have the wall brick anymore. You think they're gonna give you a keyboard and mouse? Come on
I
now.
don't. Well, the wall brick. That's because those things are everywhere. You know, they're trying to cut
Sure.
back on those.
And it costs them money. If they
I don't think that's
and,
why.
and keyboard and mice are everywhere too, Dom. Come on,
No,
everybody's got a computer and mouse.
not everybody.
Uh-huh.
My mom does not.
I'm
But
Well,
she
your
has
mom
30
is
cell phone
probably
bricks. She has 30 cell phone bricks in a drawer in her kitchen.
Yeah. So definitely where they're headed. Definitely where they're headed. And no, World of Warcraft does not have an official console port
yet.
But just like anything, you can get to run an operating system, particularly a Windows one. Just like my Steam Deck, I can get World of Warcraft on it. You're going to be able to do that on the new Xbox experience as well. I think the biggest advantage, though, is that whole Play Anywhere, the Xbox Anywhere, having access, via cloud and other methods, and all the backwards compatibility. I mean, that's just huge. That's just huge. And I do expect that, Dom, we'll see a World of Warcraft console version at some point. But this is not a console version like you may have seen reported. This is just
I think
side loading.
We're definitely leaning that way.
Yeah. Hey, for you Battlefield fans, Battlefield 6 just got its Battle Royale RedSec free to play, going right after their opponent there. And to fire back, Call of Duty Black Ops 6 is now free to play itself for a limited time until November 3rd. Just after Battlefield 6 RedSec mode was revealed, Call of Duty decided to make Black Ops 6 free to play until November 3rd. So there you go. Go ahead and get your shooter full, whatever you are looking for. Now, I did want to go back to AI just a little bit here.
Mm-hmm.
Because Dom, you had mentioned earlier companies experimenting with AI as far as gaming development when we talked about our first topic today. But you should know that a company that was involved with MMOs in the past and is still involved with a relatively big shooter out on the market is now transforming itself into a totally AI-first company. Yeah. According to Video Game Chronicle, Krafton, that's the publisher behind PUBG and Hi-Fi Rush and Subnautica, they're restructuring into a totally AI-first company where they plan to place AI at the center of problem solving, and they are investing about a little shy of 70 million USD to build a GPU cluster to support multi-stage tasks requiring sophisticated reasoning and iterative planning, and to serve as the foundation for accelerating the development of agentic AI. They're going to invest another 20 million USD annually starting next year to support employees in directly utilizing and applying various AI tools to their work, and they'll restructure their HR stuff, their HR systems while they're in there, because why not? So, yeah.
The HR systems for what? The AI?
Yeah. So for when one AI harasses the other one.
Yes.
Yeah.
They get reprimanded.
Just don't threaten to disconnect them in an email. You'll get blackmailed. If you haven't seen that report, you definitely should. It's tremendous. Go look at it.
No.
Yeah.
GDC. We've talked about the death of E3 here multiple times, Yad, on this show, and then now it's dead. But GDC might be facing, the Game Developers Conference, facing the same type of issues, saying that the leading industry companies who choose to skip the event are sending a message to developers that they don't care. So kind of putting you on blast if you are a development house that did not or does not attend GDC. Speaking to Mark DeLaura, that's the Executive Director and Innovation of Growth at GDC. Mark said, as an attendee, I was disappointed not to see Unity on Unreal on the show floor. I worked for Sony, and I started the Sony booth 25 years ago. Not to see Sony on the show floor is just disappointing. I really feel like you've got so many developers there. You've got to have a front door. Of course, these companies are going to have their own events. They have their own communities they need to foster, and they can talk about things that are more NDA'd at their own events that they may not want to do at a public show. But you're not going to find the independent developer who doesn't already know somebody at your shop unless you're there, speaking at GDC and other similar conventions, with your door open. Isn't that the purpose of conferences? Meeting new people. You've decided you don't want to meet new people. I guess. I can't understand that. There's more to it than that, of course. There's costs, etc. But developers get the vibe. If you're not there or appear not to be there, and are they sure that you care about them? That's what I don't understand. I would say this because that's why I got Sony involved in GDC in 2001. We needed to be there. We needed to be there for developers. It's important. Now, GDC itself is being revamped next year into that whole festival of gaming stuff with cheaper tickets. So they're already changing the way that entire conference goes. But, Dom, is this point of view valid? Is there some validity to this? Because it really does kind of smack of hey, man, I'm going to just bash you because you didn't buy tickets to this thing that I happen to be involved in selling tickets for and selling booths for.
On one hand, it sounds very desperate, right? But on the other, it is not completely untrue. I'm not saying it's widely like, oh, you're doing a disservice to yourself for not being there, but it does open the door for smaller, independent, companies to come in, get their foot in the door, exchange conversations that they wouldn't otherwise have. And you may miss out on something great that, you didn't have the opportunity because your company wasn't there. There is that, but this almost sounds like blackmailing almost in the way it's, not quite, but just the way he's speaking about it. It's just like, it's wild.
There is something to be said, Yod, though, for if you are a developer, particularly in today's video game industry, which we've just talked about is contracted violently over the last 10 years.
Right.
I don't want Sony at a show that my little 20-person employee studio is going to be at, right? I don't want you at the Sony booth. They have money. They have the reach. They can hold their own events. I want you to come and see my little 20-person that I can't afford $3 million in advertising. I want to see those developers and teams like that. So, again, GDC is a little bit of a different beast because it's not generally made for gamers to just go see what these companies are doing. It is a little more on the industry side of things. But I still, as a developer, I know what Sony's doing. And they're not going to show anything at GDC that I didn't see on their stream.
Right. That's everything that you can't see from them, you can't see because it's under NDA.
Yeah.
So what's the point of them going if it's a developer only thing and they're not trying to reach the people paying for their stuff? That is a very valid thing.
Now the other side of this, he brings up Unity. I think it makes sense for to kind of put Unity or Unreal Engine on blast for why the hell aren't you at a developer conference, right? You are trying to sell tools to developers. Right. Why aren't you here? Now, Unity probably is kind of watching finances right now, and rightfully so, and maybe that plays into it. But yeah, I thought it was just it was like a full article of just putting these developers on blast when I'm they don't need this show. Just like it turned out, consumers didn't want E3 anymore. Not in the way that they wanted to continue to deliver E3. The market
E3 has
changes.
To be something completely different.
Yeah, the market changes.
Yep.
Happy birthday, by the way, to the PlayStation 2. Last week we had the Nintendo Entertainment System's 40th birthday. This week on October 26th, we celebrated 25 years for the PlayStation 2. Dom, what's your favorite PS2 game?
Crash Bandicoot.
Yod, you got one?
So my favorite is obviously, Parasite Eve 2.
Well, that was PlayStation 1.
Oh, was that place? Oh, yeah, it was.
Well, I guess Crash Bandicoot was too.
Yeah, I just assumed you meant one of them.
So
I think they all were. I don't know if there were any with it.
The one I remember the most because it's the one I bought the system for.
Your
Final Fantasy
Wrath of Cortex was PS2.
Final Fantasy X was the one I bought the system for.
Yeah. Yep.
So yeah, there's a laundry list of games that I enjoyed playing on there.
Yeah,
one of which was the Robotech game they had, but that's the one that I remember because I bought the system specifically for it.
Yeah, chat. Let me know yours. Wrath of Cortex was PlayStation 2. Crash Bandicoot Wrath of Cortex.
Okay, I don't even think I played that one. So I'm gonna have to change my answer, and it's a tie. It is a literal toss-up. Two very different games, but I love them both for different reasons. Kingdom Hearts and Metal Gear Solid 2.
I can't disagree on either of those fronts.
Yeah.
Chat, you can feel free to throw yours in there. I'll get to them in a second. So definitely Metal Gear and the Final Fantasy series, but to stay away from those ones, me picking something new or different, I'm gonna take Sky Odyssey. If you even remotely like the flight sim, I wouldn't call it a flight sim. It's more of an arcade flight game. It was a tremendous amount of fun, and there's just nothing like Maniac Mansion was the regular Nintendo Havoc. God damn it!
I got one. I got one you can't even argue. SSX Trick.
Yeah. Takal, the question is your favorite PS2 game of all time since the PlayStation 2 turned 25 here in North America this week. Chirac says Star Wars Battlefront. Yeah. Within Crisis says Dark Cloud. Yeah. Number 2, not so much. But number 1, yeah. Number 2 wasn't terrible. But my brother Lou says Scarface. Yeah, you do love that one. Takal says Final Fantasy X. So right along there with you.
Oh, yeah.
Right.
All right. So we do have some time here. Oh, by the way, yeah, this is not really news. We don't have to talk about this. I just thought it was funny. Netflix is already closing the video game studio behind Squid Game Unleashed. That mobile game. I'm sure you're stunned by this. I mean, honestly, the thing lasted for 2 years or a year and a half or something like that. But yeah, that studio's closing. Imagine that. Okay, I'm going to let the trailer play here for a second. We're not going to do all 10 of these because we are running up against the end of the show. But like I said at the beginning of the show, I saw a BuzzFeed article a quizzical thing that had like 40 or 50 different, hey, can you tell us what video game this is from one picture? And if you can, we'll tell you if you're old. Well, I'm old, and I got most of these right. And I didn't want to pull all 40 or 50, but I grabbed 10, and I just figured I'll show them on the screen. And yeah, we have a little bit of a delay before Dom and Yad will be able to see this. This won't be as organized, but chat, you can feel free to chime in as well as I show these. And we'll just see how many of these guys you can get before we go do games of the week.
Are we buzzer style? Or
No. Yeah, just we'll take turns. I have 10 of them, so Dom, we'll give you this first one and see if you can get it. We won't keep score or anything. We all know we're old. We don't need the quiz to show us we're old. So I've pulled the first image up. It'll take Dom just a second to see it on the stream or so with the delay. But can you tell me what that game is, Dom?
Bases loaded? I don't know.
It is not. Chad already got it.
Backyard baseball.
Yeah. Oh, so you weren't supposed to say anything. So that y'all could take a stab at it. It is.
I saw chat.
Yeah, chat got it. Takal got it. It is backyard baseball. I actually know this one from my kid.
Chat. See chat.
Yeah.
I just closed chat so they don't spoil anything.
Yeah. No Havoc. It's not Maniac Mansion. God damn it. All right, Yad, this one's for you. I'm gonna bring up the image now, and it'll take just a second for you to be able to see. This one's easy.
Oh,
Qbert?
Yeah. All right, buddy.
There
Yeah,
you
you
go.
got it. It's Qbert. Lou got that one in chat as well. Here's one, Dom, that I think out of the two of you would get, but I don't know if you know it. So if you tell me the franchise, I'll give it to you because it has a longer name. And I probably wouldn't have gotten the subtitle of this, but I immediately knew what series this was from. Takal says 0 idea on this one. No ideas from Yad.
Nope.
No, it is not Marble Madness.
I wish it was Marble. I would have gotten that one.
It's not Earthbound. This is the Magic School Bus explores the solar system.
Oh, okay.
I knew it was Magic School Bus. I wouldn't have known the subtitle.
Here's Miss Frizzle.
Yeah, I know, right? Well, I couldn't put that one in there. That would have been too easy.
Could have.
Yod, if you miss this one, you're off the show.
What, StarCraft?
Yeah, thank you. Thank you. I saw that one. It's pretty
hours.
Easy. Yeah.
Dom, so many hours on my ruby red iMac playing that game.
Dom, this is one for you that I think if you don't get, you should be off the show for at least a little while, like a temporary suspension.
Oh, God. I recognize this.
It looks familiar.
I don't.
Chat did get it right already. Takao got this one. No,
it does look familiar.
Is this
my two
Fallout?
brothers and my mother are in chat just naming NES games now.
Is this Fallout?
It is Fallout. Yeah, you got it. You got it. So you get.
I thought it was the original XCOM.
This is another one that you should get pretty quickly, Yod.
Oh my God!
What?
You're just giving him all the easy ones.
I didn't put them in any particular order.
Is this a Zelda?
No.
Do you not know
Final
it?
Fantasy, isn't it?
Do you not know it?
No, I don't.
Oh my God!
I actually don't know this one.
You really don't? Oh, I thought you were just being a dick.
No, I don't know this one.
Takal and Lou in chat both got it. It's SimCity.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, you can see the control bar over on the left. It was the worst user interface ever.
Yeah, I played that one. That's probably why.
All right, Dom. You got this one, big boy.
No.
Yeah, you got this.
Is this Warcraft?
It is. Yeah, you got it. It's Warcraft. Yod, here's a really, really easy one for you. So I zoomed the image in just to try and obscure things a little bit.
Really? Oh my God! Yes, I know this one. My brain is fried right now.
It's pretty obvious, so I zoomed in and just to leave you enough to be able to pick it. But
the worst part is I know it's one of two, and I don't know which one.
Galaga?
It is not Galaga.
It is not Galaga?
It's Space Invaders.
Space Invaders.
Yeah, Dom, you
Space
got
Invaders.
it.
Ah.
Everybody should get this one. Everybody should get this one.
Oregon Trail.
Yeah, baby. We've all got dysentery.
Oh, no.
Last one for you, Yod. I got this one wrong. Right genre, but I picked the wrong title. Lou,
I don't know this
Lou, I said what you said, and that one is wrong.
Is this one that Jason Winters?
Tazeb, you got it. Tazeb got it.
This seems like it's a Jason Winter game.
No, it's not like a Total War or anything like that.
No, okay.
Is it a Civ?
It's not Civ. No, you kind of have to look at the picture. Like what that blue path there. Like where would you ever be? Where
Let's say hot dogs on the building behind.
Yeah, it does. It does.
Is this a tycoon game?
It is. It is.
Ah. See, you got to remember when these back in the day, I did not have a computer.
Yeah, well, I didn't have one that could play it either. Yeah,
No,
which is probably why I said theme park, because that was released on the PS1 and I could play that one. I didn't play the Roller Coaster Tycoon series until much later. This is the OG.
The roller coaster variety.
Yeah, this is the OG Roller Coaster Tycoon.
Okay.
Yeah. So
yeah, anything that was on a computer during the NES days.
Yeah, I didn't have a
idea.
computer that could really. I didn't have a computer that could really play anything decent until I was in high school. We didn't have a ton of money growing up, that type of thing. So that was like the Warcraft 3, Age of Empires 2 era, and those games had been out for a couple of years. They weren't like the newest things. That was really the first PC gaming I got into.
I was in college, but yeah, same.
Soul Calibur. Yes, that was Soul Calibur with the hot dog stand that we all remember
Totally.
and love. Let's go do
Totally
games of the
Soul
week.
Calibur.
Games of the week is the way we end every episode of Gaming Gumbo here. It's where all three of us are going to recommend a game. Could be a video game, board game, card game, mobile game, something we played in the past or playing now or haven't played but think you should check out. And while you're commenting down below on YouTube or on ReadyCheckRadio.com, your thoughts from all the topics of today's show, you let us know who gave the best recommendation. Yod, what do you got?
So I bought Power Washer Simulator 2.
Yeah, my brother Havoc
So-
bought it from my mom this past weekend too.
So Power Washer Simulator 2 on this thing. That's what I recommend.
What do you got, Terrifier?
So, just coming back from Universal Studios, I went on the Mummy roller coaster ride. Brendan Fraser, not Tom Cruise. But it reminded me of the terrible Tom Cruise Mummy, and then I had a conversation. I was like, the only good thing that ever came out of the Tom Cruise Mummy movie was a game called The Mummy Demastered. And I figure since it's, close to Halloween, recommend a Halloween style game. It's on sale on Steam right now for like $5, 75% off.
Oh.
It's actually a pretty quality Metroidvania. So if you like Metroidvanias, play it. I very highly recommend it.
I will have to check it out. I'm going to hit you with the Legion, not the Legion remix. Not that. I did that last week. I'm still enjoying it, by the way. I'm like 91% on completionist right now, Dom. So, yeah. And there's still, I'm actually a little higher. There's a few ensembles that are acting up on completionist.com, but
yeah,
still enjoying it.
You're slightly ahead of me. I'm 87%, but I haven't bought a bunch of the cosmetics. I think there's like 30 cosmetics I haven't bought. I'm just working on, I have every achievement done right now outside of the keystones and the leveling classes. I have like 5 more classes to level.
That's me too. That's the same ballpark. So I've just bought a few more cosmetics than you. That's it. So, but I am going to recommend Star Wars Legion, the tabletop game that was revamped throughout 2025. Really digging it. Got 2 new starter sets. Have not started with the new rules yet. Got to build these damn things and paint them and stuff. But we'll break out the overhead camera like we did for X-Wing when it's time to play that. That's going to do it for us here today. Thank you so much for joining us for this episode of Gaming Gumbo. We'll be back next week with another episode. Until then, Yod, where can everybody find you?
Yod Artworks at most every place except for Twitter.
Dom?
Yeah, I'm down there. It's just XIZTA.
I'm Mike Byrne. You can follow me right there at MagicMan1, but more importantly, follow at RC Radio, and you'll know every time we're going live with a podcast, Final Fantasy trading card game live, local streams, and so much more. Stay safe. See you on the servers.